Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining our monthly community event, Tea Time with Rising Scholar. We are very glad to have you on board with us. This is Friday, but still you are here with us for this learning session, and our host is also here with us. Anita R. Johnson is here with us, and uh, yeah. So, my name is Asta Subedi. I work as community administrator for Rising Scholars, and I'm very glad to see my community member here with us today. We are gonna learn about bridging financial gaps in scholarly community. This is the theme of today's conversation. So, as you all know, Tea Time with Authorade is informal session of okay, Tea Time with Rising Scholar because we changed our name from Authorate to Rising Scholar very recently. I keep getting confused, and I think I missed the previous name also. So yeah, so Tea Time with Rising Scholar is where we come with our favorite cup of drink. I have water here with me today because I don't feel like drinking anything. And it is informal, so if it is possible, please turn on your video. There are a few housekeeping rules before I introduce Dr. Anita. So, the first is I am recording the session, and when I started recording, something must have popped up on your screen. Your being here is equivalent to your consent to record the session, and it will be later uploaded on our YouTube and shared from our social media channels. The second is please mute yourself when you are not talking so that we don't have background noises. And the closed caption feature is also available. If you see the toolbar of Zoom in the lower section, you'll find the more option and you can see the closed caption. They are available in multiple languages of your convenience. You can raise your hand, you can turn on your video, and in informal session like Tea Time with Rising Scholar, you can go ahead and share your experiences, opinions, insights. Yeah. So now I will introduce Dr. Anita Johnson. She is a financial behavioralist specializing in helping individuals understand their relationship with money. Interesting. With a PhD in management focusing on 21st century finance, he empowers Black women through financial education, coaching, and advocacy. She is the founder of Finding Your Financial Voice, creator of Affluence Financial Fitness for Women magazine, and author of multiple books on financial wellness. A sought after speaker and trainer, Dr. Johnson is dedicated to reshaping financial mindsets, building generational wealth, and fostering financial empowerment through education, research, and innovative financial tools. So, over to you, Dr. Anita. Thank you so much for hosting this event for us and creating this platform where we can talk about finances in academia. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about being here and to share or have you guys share with us the things, the gaps that you may find as we are working through academia. So, one of the questions I really wanted us to start thinking about is what are some of the challenges? What are the finances challenges that you may encounter in your scholarly journey? What are some of those challenges, those financial challenges that you may find? Anyone? Anyone? Anybody got their hand up? Or maybe, oh, okay, there we go. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Prof. Good morning,
Good
Asta.
morning. Good morning.
Okay, I'm Comfort Dancha. I'm speaking from Ishaka Busheni in Uganda. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
PhD student at the Kampala International University in Western Campus. So one of the major challenges that I have as a PhD student and also in my research journey is funding.
Mm.
And that is why I quickly jumped in to join this webinar. I'm really having a challenge on funding of my research, my PhD research. Thank you.
Yes, that is one of the challenges that I even faced when I was actually getting into my PhD. Not only that, but the public and trying to publish some of your work as well. So yes, that is one of the challenges. Anybody have a suggestion for her or something? Is that something that you have gone through as well? And how did you handle it?
Good morning from Nigeria.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Miriam Ngozi Alike. I teach philosophy at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Nigeria. As an academic, there are so many financial complications of finances facing a researcher and academic. Here in Nigeria, some people, most of us, struggle to survive due to the peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have a problem of publication in high-indexed journal, Q1, that you
Mm-hmm.
have to pay. You know, some of them you pay, some of them are free. Now, another one is funding for international conferences, getting grants. Sometimes in Nigeria, we have what is called TED Fund, but at a time you may have up to 300 applications. At the end, only 20 will be taken, and people will be frustrated. Even to travel within the country is a very big problem for academics, and how to tackle it has been a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else might have any suggestions or something that they have gone through and how they actually um, were able to survive it?
There are some responses I'd like to read. There are some people
Okay,
in that box.
okay.
Publication cost for research work. Mercy is saying that. Dr. Hosseb is saying not enough money and not on time. Um, yeah.
I see where someone was saying about guaranteed funding. We don't have free grant proposals. Yeah, and then they okay, that was you. Okay, all right, cool, cool. All right. Anyone else want to talk about that challenge of funding, the financial challenge of that? I know here in America, we basically, for me, there was grants, um, and I see my sorority sister. Hi, I love it. She's up with me at 2 a.m. in the morning. um, uh, of course, grants that and scholarships and stuff that I applied for a number of times. So yeah, it is a definitely it is a struggle to or a challenge, I should say, to find the funding and to continue to find that funding to continue our education. So it's definitely that. Okay, I see someone's hand. Go ahead, Hesby.
Hi, I'm Hasib from Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Mm-hmm.
I think the to answer to your question, it will vary, isn't it? Because the context is different in different countries. But
Mm-hmm.
there are some common themes that not enough, not on time, not what I want to do, I'm not getting that. So these are the kind of common themes. But I would like to challenge this not having money as a is it a kind of a myth? Because it will never be enough. So I was just wondering, is it not enough to reach to the point where we want to go? For example, if I want to do a PhD, I'm not getting enough funding. I have done my PhD, but now I have joined an institution, but I'm not getting enough grant to start off my
Mm,
research team. So we
research,
need to
yes.
break down what do we mean by not enough money? Because
Mm,
from my experience, I can say that when we get I'm with a private university in Bangladesh, and over the last 6 years, despite COVID, we published. I actually got involved in publishing 15 research articles by collaborating with different organizations, and my institution almost 40. So it means you have to collaborate, not seeking only money from your own country or individually. You need to collaborate. You need to be part of a bigger team. And that will give you the opportunity to conduct research that you want to do. And the other point before I finish, whenever you get a grant, you need to arrange in such a way that you keep some money, some overhead or whatever, so that that can help you to run between two funding, to run, to continue with your research assistants because you have been investing in them, so you shouldn't lose them. And we are using that particular modality for the last 6 years, as long as I have been involved in this particular research center, which is focused on conducting research on sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That's great observation. I belong to a group of scholars that we will write articles together. So that does help. So that's a great way to take some of the challenge off from yourself, trying to do things by yourself. Thank you for that. Someone else had their hand up.
Yes, greetings, doctor. Hope you can hear me. Can I go ahead, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Adesoji from Nigeria. Yeah, one major issue or challenge with researchers, particularly in this part of the world, is also inadequate mentoring. For people want to publish in high quality, high impact journals, Q1, like from economics, you want to publish in a quarterly review and make economic journals, but there's not enough mentoring to be able to do that, because some of the faculty members themselves, they've not really published at that level. So one way that I've been able to do is also to belong to groups too, or of people from different parts of the world, so that we could leverage on each other's capabilities. But I think I had an experience too, whereby we fall into predatory mentors from other countries too, that you only work and work and work, and there's no reward. In fact, so there's one I had that the university gave a research grant for a particular paper. I was the one that did the whole paper. I wrote the paper, I did all the analysis, but eventually I was not rewarded. It was saying that the funding had to stay in that institution. But I said, you knew that before I was called to do all the work. So I used my own time to do all the work. Eventually, there was nothing. So that could also be a major issue. So running away from predatory mentoring, but yet we still need to go into collaboration to be able to solve that. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes, mentoring. Yes. So I want to ask some of you guys how, and some of you have already actually answered this question in the discussion, but what other ways financial equity can show up in scholar communities, like stipends or research? And you just mentioned about being a mentor or being in groups. How can you, the ones that are already finished and working and researching, how can you mentor others? Do you mentor others? And the ones that are on here that are trying to complete their doctorate or master's or so forth, do you have a mentor that can help you face some of these financial challenges, because they've gone through this and they probably know some roads to get through? Anyone? Yes, I see a hand up.
Good day, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I am Oluwakemi from Nigeria. I am a lecturer with the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Well, and the issue of ways of mentoring and things, there is a program that we're currently running, is the Awola Mentorship Program. It's African women leaders in agroecology, and then it bring together mentors and mentees and encourage, relationships. Yeah. Um, Under the program now, I am a mentor, and then my mentee is also here on this call. I encourage her to join this webinar. You know, so yes, so with programs like that, people can have good mentors, under structured programs. And then the issue of predatory mentorship that Adesoji mentioned, can be avoided under structures like this. And aside from this, within our university, I try to mentor some of our students. Just 2 months ago, some of our students, 3 of them, I nominated them for a program in agroecology also, and they went to at the national level, and then 2 of them, were made as the leaders within, the program that they went for. And some others like that, I encourage them to join activities on agroecology, organic agriculture, and things like that. And they have been doing well in it. So it's possible, to have a, mentee mentor that is working. It's possible. Thank you.
Great, great. I love it. So, if you are looking maybe to join, you are a mentee, you want a mentor, or if you're a mentor wanting a mentee, you can actually put, I would say, just kind of put that in the chat and then go from there. Maybe someone will, maybe someone can contact you and tell you where that is if you do not have that where you are in school. But I'm sure there's some place in your university or college where you are getting that, at that you can be a mentee or a mentor. Okay, great. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else have anything to add? What about disparities that face marginalized groups like Blacks, Indigenous, and women scholars? What is that about? Okay, I see a hand up. Julia, I believe. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, good morning from the side. Thank you. I am not a mentor, I'm a mentee. So I
Okay,
think
okay.
talking from the mentee perspective, I have a mentor that has really guided me. And I think I was fortunate to join some research group here in my institution. I'm from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So through their guidance, I'm able to do some publication because it's jointly done. So the fees are reduced or minimal for me. But then there is still that constraint of if you want to do a personal research, like I'm a PhD student. The first research I wanted to go into, I couldn't do it because when I brought it up to my supervisor, he's like, this is going to be expensive, but it's something I'm passionate about. And I had to go into something else, really. But yes, it's been quite helpful. But I joined the call because I really want to expand my knowledge of what are other things I could explore, because there are some other personal research you may want to carry on, and some persons you may want to bring on board. They don't really have the financial stability or the financial contribution they would want to make, but there are other contributions they could make. So yes, please, that's the input I want to make.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to add? Thank you for that. Anyone else want to add to this? You know, we talked about leveraging groups, being in groups. That was one of the things after I finished in my chair really encouraged me to do. And so I did join a group, a writing group, a resource group, and also having those allies that are, you know, faculty advocates and of course department chairs to help you in this financial challenge. And something has been put into the chat, so make sure that you actually look at the chat and go there and see about mentoring. Okay, there's a hand up.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity. That's the beauty of online sessions. I was a bit busy in my shower room. I still joined. My name
Great.
is Dr. Flavius Nkupli from the University of Maiduguri, Nigeria. Talking about mentoring and sharing experiences, I'm a junior mentor actually, because I'm still growing, but experiences I have benefited from mentoring as a mentee, particularly from peer mentoring. I saw one of my peers here who is on this call, Geoffrey Lunsi, being the first set of radiography from the University of Maiduguri. It was quite challenging, actually. Pioneering an emerging frontier from northern Nigeria. We had no senior colleagues to learn from, apart from our teachers from undergraduates. That was way back in 2003, and this is 2025. And we are talking here on the Raising Scholars platform. This is one of the platforms I respect so much. Author 8 back then. This was one of the platforms I learned about mentoring from. I think as a junior lecturer then, when I just joined the academia in 2011, I started learning from opinion pieces, crafting opinion pieces, review articles, not really a sophisticated narrative reviews, meta-analysis, and all that. Learning from our experiences and conference papers. There was this program Author 8 was doing then, matching mentors and mentees. I remember a scholar from Mexico who reviewed my first paper and encouraged me. That was one of the first papers I published. And there was conference grant that time. There was this conference grant Author 8 was giving. That was where I got the interest in attending conferences. And looking back today, I've won a number of conference travel grants. And my own students, it's just last session we started a PG program. So we've had undergraduates so far. And my undergraduate students, from our team, we've been able to win travel grants. Students from undergraduates competing for Young Scientist Awards. Last year, we got this grant from the US, from the World Congress for Radiation Protection. There was this Young Scientist Award. One of the team members who just graduated attempted that very grant. The abstract was accepted. 5 of our abstracts were accepted at that conference. What delayed us or hindered us from attending that conference was visa. Our visa was denied. We got a grant to the tune of $3,000. Imagine an undergraduate. And the story did not end at that level. I encouraged them to participate in the NIMA conference, the International Conference for Advances in Healthcare. The year before last, my mentee won that grant and he failed in their exams. He couldn't attend. He recommended me as the mentee, his supervisor, to attend. A round trip was paid for me from here in Maiduguri to Lagos to attend that very program. And last year again, just an abstract of 250 words or thereabout, and 2 of them, another grant again. They attended and got that. So financially, we've been able to leverage on our writing skills, though disadvantaged by other circumstances. Of course, the conflicts that have ravaged Northeast here over 15 years, we look at those obstacles as stepping stones to our challenges. And we still encourage them. In fact, I've had experiences out of pocket with our lean resources. I've sponsored some of our students to attend conferences and present papers on my behalf. And those things have served as motivation. And I see growing interest among the younger generations. And a particular model we have adopted for ourselves with mass exodus of particularly health professionals, young people jabbering out here and there. How do we maintain sustainability in fragile and conflict setting? Of course, we have to continue. We adopt the principle of paying it forward. Those who are higher, they try to bring others. That is the sustainability model we have developed. Thank you very much. Those are just few things I can highlight from the little we do here.
Thank you. Thank you. Very exciting. Very exciting. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
Miriam.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam Alike from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say I'm a mentor and also a mentee. I'm in a
Dual
study group,
roles.
and that study group, I was able to get a travel grant from Canada through one of my mentors, and it was great, and that means commitment. I even received another one from a mentor too from Benin Republic, the late Professor Pauline Hotunji, who was my great mentor in African philosophy. Even from my mentor from the university, I got a grant too to travel outside the country. So it's very good to have mentors. I have mentors in my university. I have outside Nigeria, India. I have at OAU. I have at Ibadan. Even the one at OAU, my mentees will be traveling to OAU July to stay 2 months for mentorship in their summer institute. And it's a privilege to be a mentor and a mentee. So it's good to be there because you benefit being a mentor and a mentee. But I always try to see myself as a mentee to learn and teach others as well. So it's a very good thing to be won. And also, I benefited from Auto Aid, now Rising Stars mentorship. I had a mentor from Zaria then, and we were close. You have to do so many things, monitoring, and it's a great thing and a great place to be in Rising Scholars. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. One of the things that I have been looking for Fulbright scholarships to do research in different countries from my own. And one of the things that one of the presenters said one time is that he gets up in the morning, has his coffee, and starts looking for money, grants, things of that. And he said it's almost like a full-time job or maybe a part-time job, that he takes hours looking for different grants and scholars and all kinds of things to fund the projects that he's trying to fund or that his group is trying to fund. So I want to encourage you to do that. I can tell you from my own experience, looking for money that actually fits what you do could take you a while, but you continue to do that. You to carve out some time in your day, hour and a half, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and just focus on looking for that and continue to. So I want to encourage you to be a mentor if you are not a mentor, and encourage you to continue to be a mentee to the person. I became a mentee to my chair. She immediately became my mentor, and I love her because she's been doing it forever. So I want to encourage you to continue to do that. Any other on this? Because I'd like to talk about a little of the financial gaps in academia and how some uh, may be marginalized. Some groups may be marginalized. So, is there anything else on this? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about, have you or do you know of anyone have any been as far as the financial gap in academia, has that occurred for you, or do you know about it? Have you done it? Have you actually been faced with it, and what did you do about it? No one.
Hello,
Everybody's
Jessica.
equal. Go ahead.
Please, I didn't hear the question.
So I wanted to know if we're talking about the financial gaps in academia, right? So have you ever been discouraged or having disparities in the academia field where you are? Do you know anybody? How did you deal with it? What is it that you may have done that to get past? And I see there are two hands up. So either person, or if you have something, tell us about that too as well. Okay. The hands that are up, anyone, both. It's two hands. So
Okay,
either
can I
one,
Okay,
talk?
I'm
go
going.
ahead. Yeah.
Hi, let me just drop a quick one. I have another meeting to attend. Yes, being marginalized or having financial difficulties and constraints arrive, particularly for those of us who practice in conflict settings. I've actually considered myself as an independent or internally displaced researcher, because most of the times people talk about people who are in vulnerable settings and they don't remember the researchers, those who struggle to conduct research in this kind of settings. Amidst all the hostilities and all that, for you to still be able to be coordinated, to come up with ideas, and yet you don't get funded is quite
Did I lose it?
demoralizing. But one key, we have remained resilient, we have remained focused, and try to think outside the box. A typical example that comes to mind is about 2 years ago or thereabout, when the Academic Staff Union of universities in Nigeria were on strike, and our salaries were stopped for over 8 months. And of course, we know how expensive fuel is in Nigeria. And we had about close to 24 months of no electricity here in Borno State in Maiduguri. And yet you have to on your generator, you have to subscribe out of pocket to be online, to be able to respond to your reviews and articles and your submissions to know whether they are accepted or not. And internally, there are no fundings. Of course, there was paucity of funds to our institutions. So we have to look outside. We have to look at these organizations out there. Perhaps a conference paper may not really score you so much in terms of promotion, but I think at least the exposure I gain from that, the networks I get from that, I was fortunate to be able to get International Atomic Energy Agency grant in 2022 to travel to Accra in Ghana to present my paper. I remember at the airport, I was asked, but you said there is no money, and how are you traveling? I said, well, people who value what we do will invite us. That's how I was able to overcome that challenge. Looking out for opportunities, like you rightly said, it's not easy. You after you think you have done your best, they don't understand the setting under which that paper is being developed, and you are rejected. It's demoralizing. For you to be able to put your pieces together and move from resilience to transilience and then clinch the grant is how we've been able to overcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Hi, Hasib again from Bangladesh. It is a kind of in line with what we have just heard. As you all know that development projects have been shut down, which has got research component due to the funds, different funding by the US government. So USAID has been closed down. So last year we started two projects, two research projects and of course it was shut down in February. So what we did in one case, we couldn't take it forward with our own resources or any, but the other one where we invested a lot of effort and partnership on the ground, and we installed equipment on the ground, we actually took three channels to continue it. One is very small amount of money to continue with our own but we started talking with the different agencies in my country, different donors, which may have the opportunity to fill the gap of USAID cut. And the third one is, of course, like others, we also started searching for new grants so that we can comprehensively continue what we have invested in until January, when the executive order actually stopped everything. So these are the three things we have been doing. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I see another hand.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. This is still Adesoji. Interestingly, I want to point out to one marginalized group, which has to do with this early career. You know, the way early career is defined, there's this general perception that once you are early career, there's a particular age limit that you have, perhaps 35 or 20 or whatever. So when you want to respond to call that they call early career, by the time you're already above 35, you find out that the age bracket is usually pegged. So most of the time, when you talk about early career in this part of the world, when you want to go into PhD program, it is when the time is available. So as long as you are still a PhD student or candidate, you are early career, but in terms of age, you may be above 35. So by the time there's a cap for you at 35 that you cannot apply for a particular thing, it becomes problem. How do you learn? So you can be above 35, yet you are in an early career. So I've been able to see, I've seen this a lot in terms of the programs, conference, or fellowship that I applied for. So I'm an early career, but you peg the age at 35. So what you are saying directly is that once you're above that, you cannot go ahead. So it's really a challenge. So I wouldn't know, no matter how whoever is writing some of these calls to look at country-specific characteristic features and be able to just don't limit early career. Early career should not be defined by age, but willingness to learn, willingness to grow, and the physical fitness to actually move forward in the career. So to me, it's a marginalized area, and I'm really passionate about it. I even wrote to World Bank concerning it. They were saying that no, it's because of that, the way the program was structured. I say you have to stop this, because don't define early career in terms of age, but in terms of willingness to learn, to grow, and to move up the ladder. So that's one area that I also want to point out to.
Thank you. Thank you. There's one more hand. Said, yeah.
That will be mine. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Zainab Yunusa Kaltungo. I'm a Rising Color Steward, and I've listened to everybody. One of the things that I'd like to point out for those who are marginalized when it comes to academics, resources in academia, are the women. Sometime last year, I hosted in collaboration with the Mawazo Institute a webinar for rising scholars, and it was more about what are the challenges that women face in research. And the section I moderated was about finding resources for your career. And three things I would like to point out from our findings were: one, women tend to go into academia a little later than the men. And then, as the last speaker said, by the time they're about doing their doctorate, then there's an age limit to a lot of the scholarships, so they're disadvantaged. When they do find the scholarship, some of them have children, and some of the scholarships are outside the shores of their country, and the scholarship will not provide for them to go with the child, and of course they will need a caregiver. So now they're disadvantaged, and so many other things, some of them because of the home fronts. I remember some webinar we did some time ago, still on the platform of Rising Scholars, that also came out during that webinar, was that some women, because the doctorate especially is so tasking, they have little time at home, and they find their spouses actually do such things as hide their laptops. Sometimes it's to say, I think you need to rest a little. But what the spouse does not understand is every minute I take to rest or for the family means I have to put my career on the back burner. Those are the things I'd like to point out. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, definitely. That's definitely one of the women are definitely one of the um, marginalized groups that put their careers on hold a lot because of their family. Anybody else have something for that? Anybody else? Any suggestions? Do you think that there's a role that institutions can play, the ones that we work for or other institutions, that you think that they have a role in making sure that they keep retention and helping us, helping marginalized groups continue their research? Or what role should they play, or should they play a role? Yes.
Yeah, I certainly, Dr. Zainab here again. I think
Mm-hmm.
the institutions can play a role by being intentional about going out to look for these grants that are
Mm-hmm.
available, especially those that are tied to certain institutions, and then making them available to their staff and students. Because on your own, as a student, you might not have the resources search for all of them or be aware of the ones that are within your field. But the institution is positioned in such a way that with their collaborations, their experiences, their
Mm-hmm.
old students, alumni outside, there's so many opportunities that are available that institutions can tap into for their marginalized group. Thank you.
Thank you. I love it. Thank you. There's another hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. It's Oluwakemi here again. Yeah, in the role of institution in searching out opportunities and making available, I just want to give an example of my own institution, the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. There is a center in the university that looks out for grants, fellowships, and scholarships, and then they make information available to both students and staff members. And also, they manage the TED Fund, which is a national grant, either for travel for conferences, for training abroad, for research and things like that. And then they make calls and they make these available for academic staff in the university. So I think maybe other institutions that are not doing that yet can, float maybe a center like that will be searching out for grants, for scholarships and fellowships and making available to members of the institution. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask this as well. Do you find that in the institutions, the between agile and tender track, is there so are there more how's that working? I'm trying to see if I can ask this question, if I the point across. Are the marginalized groups more agile, or are they tender, or vice versa, job security kind of thing? So, because this is can be a gap, right? I'm more of an agile than I am, or do I really want to go through the tenure track, or is that a thing? Do you think that's a thing in these institutions and marginalized groups? Anyone? No? Yes?
Well, I think if you could break the question down a little bit.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm saying if you could break the question a little bit
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Someone had their hand up.
Yeah, thank you once again. Yeah, I just want to say on the issue of the marginalization of some groups, I think some organizations that make grants or fellowships or scholarships available, in some cases, they will put a clause there that women are encouraged to apply. In some
Mm,
cases, they will say, okay, disabled people are encouraged to apply. So there are organizations that recognize, that some people may be marginalized, maybe because of their peculiarities and things like that, and they put it there that, they give priority to such groups of people. So one can be on the
mm.
lookout maybe for such, organizations and then apply through them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else on this topic? Anyone else on this topic? That's why I think also with these what we're talking about as far as financial gaps in academia and the marginalized groups, this is an opportunity for a mentor to be mentoring people that are just or finishing their PhD and want to get into teaching, educating, showing them the ropes, so to speak, about whether they want to be agile or tenure track.
They're gonna always find a live. They're gonna always say, no.
Okay, thank you. And so, so this is where a good mentor will guide you. I know my mentor. I want to do, some research kind of thing with this particular person, or in this particular journal, and she'll say, that journal is not where you're gonna need to be to for the track. So this is here again as we talk, and we're talking about mentors and mentees as well, scholars, scholarships, fellowships, and so forth. And she's a good guider. I think I have one more, or maybe a little bit more, but I want to talk about how this economic stress affects our mental health. We don't talk about that enough, right? So how is it affecting? This can be for especially a PhD candidate, and all of us probably remember as we were finishing that. How does this financial challenge affect our mental health and our productivity, and to stay in school, and to stay, not only just to stay in school, but to also stay working where we're working at, in the institutions that we're working? How does that affect your mental health? Someone says getting good and support members are easy to find. Mentors, yes. Anyone? How does it affect your mental health? I can tell you as a PhD candidate, and also working for myself as an entrepreneur, it was a difficult time, and there were many times that I wanted to quit, but I didn't, because it actually was my second go around, and I quit the first time because of money. So here we are, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I will be finding the funds. But yes, the mental health it was definitely an issue with me, and had a lot of support with therapy. Okay, I see a hand.
Now, I'm Perpetual Dungu from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. I would say that career impacts on research can impact on your mental health. I was working with a tough a bacteriologist. I was working with the Mycobacterium tuberculosis for my PhD. And I was trying to extract DNA from it. And the methods that I was using were not working. I worked for a whole year. And that impacts on researchers, because sometimes your PhD, your job is pegged on you completing your PhD. Some employers will put that clause that you have to finish your PhD so that you continue in this employment.
Mm.
Then you've chosen a study that is not working. You need to, like I needed to extract the DNA, send it to Germany for analysis, so that now I could do the third objective. That objective was pegged on that method that was not working. So for a whole year, I would go to the lab every day, try to do the work, nothing working, until I had a breakthrough now after a whole year. So within that time, you feel like, do I give up? Am I going to lose my job? I have a family that is looking up to me. What am I going to do? So sometimes it becomes very challenging, especially when you are employed maybe as a teaching assistant, and now you are progressing through your doing your maybe even master's or PhD, and your job is pegged on you succeeding in your completing your master's or completing your PhD. So that becomes a big challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. In our anyone else? So in our time that we have left, any tips, you know, one or two tips from someone? I do want to address the mental health uh, because that's one of my biggest things. And when I'm working with clients in their financial mental health, is that look for resources that you can just unwind sometimes. Walking, yoga, good friends, hanging out with good friends, doing those type of things. Because this is a journey, this whole journey in itself can be a challenging journey. Anyone else might have anything that they want to say. Someone asked a question about limited in grant applications. I have not seen any limits in grant applications as far as age is concerned. Anyone else in want to give like a couple of tips? Okay, there's a hand.
Anyway, thank you, Doctor. I think what I would just give to be able to address mental health in research is just to be able to perhaps have community of researchers. Just that I will never overemphasize that. Just the community of researchers, and I must also give kudos to research aids too. And this is what I want to say. One of the people that introduced me to a lot of resources is this author aid, and I've been able to win several fellowship and grants both home and abroad. So it's belonging to a group like this, you get a lot of support here and there wherever anything happens. You can ask questions, you can attend the virtual conference where they will give practical guides into how to deal with whatever somebody issues are having. So I guess because to me, some of the fellowships that I get, they are like vacations. If I go for 1 week, and so all experts paid, just go there, face whatever you want to do, and you relieve yourself of some stress. So that really works a lot. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. I see another hand.
Yeah, hello, I'm Ugo. I'm calling from Hull in UK. One of the some of the things the speakers have spoken, especially when it comes to marginalized group, is basically early career researchers. My particular interest is the fact that sometimes women and the cap on age is one of the challenges we face. For example, I use myself as an example where I've grown in a career that is totally different from research, and I've just transitioned into research after my master's program. Sometimes you have applications that cap early career researchers as only PhD, maybe someone that has finished or is about to submit their thesis. And then me as an early career researcher, I'm wondering, this application obviously does not apply to me, because when it comes to age, obviously I'm over 35 after I've worked for like 10 years in customer service role and transitioned. So now it comes to the fact that when you're trying to do some applications or do some funding projects as an early career researcher that is basically not affiliated to a specific organization, there are some challenges. So for myself, what I decided to do was, as I came across Rising Scholars, I used this platform to try to grow as an independent researcher while looking into doing full-time PhD roles, and then or some other research roles. So I think why I try to encourage any career researchers is if you're not able to find the mentors, try to find a community, because sometimes it's hard. I know when I try to do some approaching people for mentorship, sometimes people are extremely busy in some other things they're doing. I've tried approaching some mentors here in Rising Scholars, and I didn't get any successful feedback. I'm not coming from the point of negative, but I'm coming from the fact that I had to embrace myself, to try to look inward and then build on my support system, maybe from family members and then maybe past lecturers. And it's going well in my reasoning, not because I'm totally where I want to be, but because I see myself every day moving forward in the role of being a researcher in future. So I'm coming from the fact that so many early career researchers may not be able to speak up, may not be able to reach out. Some become refrained because they are not actually getting the help they are looking for. So joining a community, or even early career researchers can come together to share ideas within themselves. That way, you grow around yourself. Like it is like it forms a chain, because research is not generally about the success you think you must get, because sometimes there wouldn't be, but the progress is the goal, the target. That's where you have some things that you have invested in, especially your time, and then you see that there's a progress. It helps. It gets your mental health organized in some way. So that's just what I want to chip in. I think the fact that some people are marginalized, sometimes there are no areas to cap on your age or on your growth level as a researcher, then you're lost, kind of. I say you're lost because sometimes you think of what then should I apply for? What then should be my area of specialization, because you're still trying to figure out and then nothing is coming up. So that's just what I want to contribute. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We'll take this last one, and then we'll have whatever announcements we have left. One more.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Please, mine is a question. It's about, okay, let's take for instance, you're an undergraduate where maybe your research topic have all been rejected, and the supervisors suggest topic for you to undertake. And here, like the case, the topic they suggest, you have to go and take a primary data from a location, and this location is actually far from where you stay. So this has been a financial constraint for the person. How do you go about in this situation? Because mostly undergraduates, they don't sponsor whatever you have to do. You have to do it for your final project. So how do you go about
I didn't understand the question. Was there a question in there? You said, how do I go about what?
Yeah, how do you go about in terms of your final project you have been given? You have to collect a primary data. That means you have to go to some location to take some data from certain people. But looking at the cost involved, you as an undergraduate, you are not being sponsored in terms of money or finance. So this becomes a burden on your head that you have to move from one place to another, searching for this data in order to complete your project. And I think there is a real challenge for most undergraduate students where the supervisor suggests a topic for you to take. So how do you
Okay.
go about it?
Okay. Anyone have any suggestions? We'll take one suggestion for him. Anyone? I think that might be something that we need to maybe discuss at another time, or maybe we can answer that. Go ahead. Oh, well, we got a break one here.
I think very quickly, because we are running out of time, very quickly, sometimes we search for grant what we want to do for that.
Yeah,
But
we can do
sometimes
that.
we have
Yeah.
to change what kind of grant is available. We can actually uh, uh, mold, transform, change our proposal or our research question
Right.
according to grant as well. Because when we are novice, we have to align ourselves where the money is. I'm just being practical, rather than changing the world what we want to do. No, you have to be in the game first to change the
Yes.
game.
Yes.
So I would start with a project proposal where I don't need to go to the field, collect primary data, rather build on what has already been done. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. I'm happy that everybody was here. I'm hoping that this discussion was a great discussion for you. And there's a lot of notes in the chat, so make sure that you get those notes. I'm pretty sure we'll get those notes, look at those notes, people to connect with. I appreciate being here and hosting this tea time for you. Anything else you have?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. And thank you so much, everybody else, for joining in. We're very glad to have everyone for the learning session. And thank you so much for sharing your opinions and insights with us. I have also shared uh, a few links that might be important for you. So I have shared some of our social medias, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, website, Instagram, where you can stay connected with us. There is YouTube, which is the hub of resources of previous webinars and tea times we have had in the past. A lot of topics have been covered, including the mental health, financial, and economic development driven by research, statistics, a lot of things actually. So please check it out. Please sign up on our website and stay updated about the resources that we share. There is Google Group Forum where a lot of live discussions keep on happening about many topics that we talked about today and about many that we couldn't touch upon. So stay connected there also. We have almost 14,000, more than 14,000 scholars with us there. So if you want to write blogs for rising scholars and share your opinions, insights, experiences, or recent research that you have done, you can check out our submission guideline and submit with us. We are currently running massive open online course on engaged research for community and policy impact. It has started on 3rd June, but we still have few more days left to register till June 9. Please register using the link provided. So on 20th June, we are having another tea time with rising scholars, a similar discussion modality on climate change and health, and how we can have a scholarly discussion, how we can write on the topic, and how we can focus on funding around the topic. A lot of other facets of issues as well will be discussed there. Join there to discuss more. The link is shared. And yeah, we look forward to continuing our journey with you. I know that this is not the only program or the last program you are going to attend. There are a lot more that we offer on regular basis. Stay connected. And we usually take pictures before the end of our sessions. So if you are comfortable, please turn on your video so that I can take a good picture. And thank you so much, Dr. Anita, for bringing this topic forward. It was a much needed discussion, timely discussion. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining despite
Thank
the
you.
time difference. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, I am going to take a picture and would like to request everybody to smile. A lot of us are turning on the camera, so let's wait for another minute. Yep. Please smile. Okay, I'll move on to next slide. Okay, so the next is the fun pose that we are going to do. So anything you know, be as creative as you can, and we'll take a picture. Maybe the Friday's here and I have weekend coming up pose or something.
Yay.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We'll see you on our upcoming sessions. And if you would like to host something with us, like Anita did today, you are more than welcome to contact me and our other rising scholars, facilitators, and members. And we are happy to support you. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, bye, everyone.
Bye.